The gut thrums with tension. The streaming city and its brash inhabitants have quietened, not to silence, but to a low rumble of conversation. The blockade is holding, the syndicate is waning, and everywhere there are plans to be made. You and Seraphim float idly in Chasm Row, many stories deep in this wound in Wellspring's side. Waiting on Kirk not far from the first place you met. The meeting Seraphim still has lingering bruises from. Kirk is inside somewhere, and like every other Lotic contractor, he is making plans. Even before you arrived back in Wellspring, he had hijacked the rig's transmitter to speak with his fellow conspirators and make arrangements for his arrival. Watching Kirk's plot unfold made you realize that despite your involvement, in the end you are just a subsidiary part of the struggle. A chaotic outside actor with effect but no real influence. Now, waiting for Kirk's return, you feel a little solace in that. You aren't ready to be dragged into another struggle, not yet. You still have your freedom to win, and looking at Seraphim next to you, you know what he does too. Alright, we're on. Kirk comes out of a passage nearby, nodding to the two of you to follow. He leads you both into the Rye Market passageways, this time not to the steaming market hall that lies beneath deep-as streets, but to a cramped room walled with pipes and rusted panels. Just a little longer, he nods to you both. Hold here. He exchanges a serious look with you before pushing off and gliding back out of the room. You watch Kirk go, your relationship having settled into quiet and mutual respect. His eyes are on bigger things now, workers' council and contract negotiations, and you know that. Perhaps one cycle ahead you will find a moment to drink together once again and discuss everything that has happened. For now, Kirk has other things on his mind. Seraphim settles again. You shoot him a look, but his focus is elsewhere, his eyes glazed over. You fold your arms. Wait. Sarah? Ella enters so quietly, in the dim room, you barely notice her. She shoots you a look and a smile as she enters. She mounts silently and then turns her attention to her brother. Tala! Seraphim says her name, like a sigh, like an exhale. He's shaking his head, his eyes already shining with uncontrollable emotion. She rushes across the room, flying into Seraphim at speed. They embrace, softly spinning in the dust and dark, their fingers dug into each other's backs. They separate, a couple of pristine spheres of briny tears spinning away through the air as they do. You're safe, Seraphim nods, taking a breath. I'm safe. She smiles reassuringly, settling him. And in this settling, his gesture of care, you see a whole network of signs and secrets. Ella is the calm to Seraphim's storm, the big sister who eases his heart. She looks him up and down. You are so big, Sarah. She laughs at her own statement. You've grown up. She tries to make it sound approving rather than patronizing. Just the same, sister. Seraphim shakes his head, calling me big but making me feel small. The moment the statement leaves his lips, you feel a chill in the room, and you aren't sure if he meant it. Ella flinches a little, hurt, but not wanting to show it. Came to find you. Ella tries again. I needed to find you. Seraphim looks torn, and you see in him something you have come to recognize. The slow and careful raising of his defenses. Why now? He looks away. It's been a long time, Tella. Mom and Dad finally decide they want me to come home. A ripple of emotion runs through Tella. One she can't hide. Sarah, after you left, they're gone. I thought you would have. She struggles to find the words. Been a long time. It has. Seraphim sets his face into a stern look of control, but you know he is raging inside. And in this moment you feel closer to him than you have felt in a while. Ella folds her arms, trying to regain a little control of the exchange. Good to see you, Sarah. So good. You know what is coming, and you see Seraphim brace for it too. But I can't leave with you. He looks pained. It isn't easy for her either. Seraphim can only nod, a dulling acceptance washing over him. I wanted to find you, and I have, and I can see you are strong and well, and shoots you a glance. You have your life here. But the people here, the other contractors, they were the ones who found me, who have kept me going since I ended up here desperate and alone. He smiles warmly. It's not that I owe them, it's that they are my family too. She gently places a hand on his shoulder. I know you understand this. He smiles at you. We all find our families out here. Seraphin smiles, a rare smile, his eyes wet. We do, sister. He embraces her again. They separate and Tala turns her attention to you. I know you will take care of my brother, Sleeper. You smile. I saw it in your eyes when you came to the pit head. He approaches and puts a hand on your shoulder. I can see you are building something of value on that ship of yours. I'll take care of Seraphin. Sure you will. He exhales and takes her hand away. She folds her arms again, her sense of control returning. There is a wisdom and experience to Tala that brings a certain calm to you. Feel that now. Will you two be staying here for a while, or... That looks between you and Seraphin. Seraphin cuts in before you can answer. Not long, he smiles. We have our own freedom to find. Tala nods. Be aware, you're free to pass the blockade, but after that... Wellspring is going to be locked down for a little while, at least until Kirk can establish his council. Next time you come, she smiles proudly, this will be a very different place. Hearing Tala say this, you suddenly see the authority in her and realize that one of those council seats may well have her name on it. You look between the two of them and realize they have years to catch up on. They'd probably rather do that without you watching. You nod to them and slip out of the room, a lilting conversation starting up the moment you leave. As you follow the twisting corridors back up the chasm row, you smile to yourself at the thought of Tala and Seraphin reunited at last. You hope this whole adventure will make Seraphin a little less moody, even though you know deep down it will probably make him worse. Deep down it will probably make him worse. Later in the cycle, Seraphin quietly comes back to the rig. He immediately settles himself in the cockpit and starts running diagnostics on the engines. He looks up as you enter and shoots you a smile. Good to see you up here, Sleeper. I'm getting her ready to head out. How are you doing? Good, Sleeper. Really good. Clicks a sequence of switches. Sleeper? Seraphin turns to face you. Thank you. He smiles. I appreciate you bringing us all the way out here. Won't forget it. Will I be okay? She's found a place here and I'm really happy for her. He looks away out of the cockpit windows at Wellspring. She always was the responsible one. I was always the one running away. I guess some things never change. Seraphin quietly watches the diagnostics complete, a subtle smile on his lips. One thing is for sure. Been here too long. Seraphin meets your eye. And we've been seen by too many people. Wellspring may be far out of Utsubo territory, but I'm sure Lane will find a way to reach his nasty clothes out here. Given enough time, let's not give him the chance. Hey guys? His voice echoes up in the passage in the cockpit. They lean in the door, looking between the two of you. The contractors just dumped a load of fuel outside our ship. Said it was a gift? You and Seraphin look at each other. You gotta be Kirk. Seraphin gets up. It's either a thank you or his way of telling us to get going. Seraphin kicks off and glides out of the cockpit. Hey, so... Bliss smiles. While you two have been busy, so have I. Been looking at the rig's drive and I reckon it's due an upgrade. We'll need engine components, quite a few, so keep an eye out. He shrugs. Shipyards tend to be a good place to look. Thanks, Bliss. Thanks. Anytime. They sigh. Better go help Seraphin with that fuel. As Bliss leaves the cockpit, you find yourself lost in thought, considering your next step while the icy expanse of Wellspring glitters below. You're free to leave Wellspring. You now have a HasNav unit installed. You can freely travel through the debris field on the belt map. Okay, so I gotta save there. So let's continue. Okay, first I will want to reload. Bit of food there. Go. Get a bit of cash back. Otherwise, we're out of supplies, but that shouldn't be that big of a problem right now. Because I would want to go through a spot where I can reload supplies relatively cheaply, so yeah. It's not Holmes Rock. Gillian Gate is too far. Do you jump there and jump there? Go as far as Far Spindle. I do want to go to Greenbelt. But then the scatter yards are kind of good to target as well. Yeah. Let's go to Flotsam and then to scatter yards. Yeah. The rig glides safely through a debris cloud, the cockpit empty apart from you and Seraphine. So, Sleeper. I've been thinking. Seraphine gives you a sly look over his shoulder. I've been thinking I'm sick of the running. I wouldn't exactly choose it. That was true when we first got out, sure, but I think we've been choosing it since. I mean, even if we want to keep going the way we have been, we have run out of belt. Beyond Wellspring, it's mostly rocks and emaciated scavengers. And well, I'm a city boy at heart. But not only that, Seraphine meets your eye. We've been building something here, Sleeper. The crew, the ship, Miles. Hell, we just got this HasNav suit for free. Comes a new unit on top of his flight console. What am I asking is, how do you feel about taking Lane on? Oh, tell me more. You've seen what's happening in Wellspring, what Tala's doing. Shakes his head. Kirk is a fool, but he's onto something. Get on the inside, organize, undermine. That I can get on board with. I like the sound of that. Bet you do. Seraphine smiles. He's enjoying this. Just think about it, Sleeper. We find a way back onto dark side quietly. We make some connections, we start something running. Turns back to his console. It'd be one hell of a thing. Tsubo are ruthless. The way they run dark side, there's got to be plenty of people fed up with them. Seraphine shrugs. They've gotten worse on their lane, worse since they pushed the other gangs out. You smile and shake your head, how fast Seraphine can bounce back when he wants to, and as you do, you can't help but consider his plan. Look, maybe it's crazy, but we need a safe harbor either way. I've got a connection in the scatter yards. He'll tuck us away, keep us quiet from everyone. You see Seraphine has his coin in his hand, and he's turning it over between his fingers as he speaks. If we want, maybe he can help us get into dark side. But even if we don't, it's a good place to rest up and make a plan. Turns back to the controls to deal with the rapid beep from the new HasNav unit. The scatter yards. You've heard of them. They have a reputation as a fiercely independent set of shipyards, just stalwart of dark side. Hiding place right under Lane's nose. If you got things to do elsewhere first, go ahead. But the moment we are back in the wash, Lane will be looking for us. Seraphine turns his focus back to piloting the ship. As you watch debris flip past the ship, you turn your focus to what's ahead. So this was a wink wink nudge nudge at the player that, hey, if you go that way, this is what's going to wait for you. So yeah, definitely want to go down to see Aki first. Saw it. Seraphine comes charging into the bunks. I actually saw it. His wild-eyed and his breath is ragged. So what? Seraphine takes a moment to catch his breath, suddenly aware of how frantic he sounds. Winks at you. Have you noticed how supplies have been going missing every so often when we travel? I have. You suddenly recall the mysterious mass that was left behind in supply storage. Seraphine sees the flicker of recognition in your eyes. So after it happened a couple of times, I decided to keep an eye on our supply store. Seraphine lowers his voice. You know, take it from time to time? In just this cycle, I drifted down there really quiet. He leans in. Whoosh! Something flew past me. Shakes his head. Knocked me right into the wall. Did you get a look at it? Seraphine sighs. It didn't hang around, but it was definitely some kind of creature. Is there really a creature loose on the ship? You look around the berth, suddenly aware that something could be hiding nearby. Tucked into the vents, perhaps? We know this thing likes supplies, right? Seraphin is also glancing around for hiding places. So we'll lock them down tighter. Keep it out. That way, you will get desperate. And then, Seraphin raises a finger. He'll make a mistake. What are you talking about? Bliss leans in from the crater. I can hear you, all the way in the workshop. There's a creature on the ship. Bliss looks between the two of you with a raised eyebrow. Creature? Are you sure? It's something small and dark. Something fast. Seraphin looks at Bliss. We are going to lock up the supplies to drive it out. Bliss looks at Seraphin. If it's an animal, you don't want to make it any more scared and desperate than it already is. How about we look up the supplies, but leave some out in a special place, try to bait it, and then grab it. Seraphin mimes the act. No. Bliss looks between the two of you. Wait, nothing to fear. We tame it. And seem very retainable. Seraphin rubs his sore ribs. Plus, we've already wasted enough supplies on this thing. You want to give it more? Seraphin turns to you. What do you think, Sleeper? Look between the two of them, still processing the strange situation you find yourself in. Let's try to tame it. Seraphin sighs. What a waste. Alright, Bliss nods. You'll have to come down to the supply store every few cycles and get some more food. Wait, won't get desperate and do anything dangerous. I'll lock the supplies up tight. Seraphin folds his arms. It won't get into them anymore. The plan set, Bliss and Seraphin leave the berth, heading in separate directions. You watch them go. It seems your ship has a stowaway. The question is, how will you deal with it?